As we go here, we see how the Genesee River, and it actually crosses over into Pennsylvania. So here's the New York, Pennsylvania line, and I'm just going to scroll up a little bit here. So when I zoom in, it won't be too far gone. And it still holds the name. And so we see the West Branch Genesee River here. And so it crosses over into Pennsylvania. And so for me, and just as an example, like I definitely think this is a huge connector for me thinking about um the how and the fact that it is not if there's a river that goes straight from um one city to another city, we can't just say, oh, that doesn't matter. They didn't really ride the boat that much, you know. It's a factor. Just as much as we can say from one state to another state, this Genesee River follows and flows directly into Pennsylvania. And so it's not, and so where that flows, business could flow, necessities may flow, they may come here for, and we have to think about it outside the parameters of our present day needs and expectations of, you know, flowing water in our houses and just access to certain types of business and where businesses would most likely populate. And so we have these kinds of things here, and it keeps going. And you see how the road is named Genesee Mills Road. Kinds of notation definitely connect to a more historical perspective of how and where the people may have traveled and had to move around and may have, and we think about how they got there or how the generation before them brought them where they are today. So this is an important perspective to think about. Thinking about it, this very river goes all the way to Canada. We should be thinking about the Underground Railroad. We should be thinking about Pennsylvania being one of the states which had the city that is known for its abolitionist movements. Um, and all of this is leading through to Canada, right? Is this the exact path? I don't know. But could this be how people, that may not have went all the way to Canada, may have stayed here, or may have been in Canada and came back this way? They, with familiar spaces, came back to get other family members. There's just so many narratives to speak of, and we haven't even touched upon Native American perspective on this idea of traveling and moving along these waters, because that is a huge connector for me. So thank you for your time. I hope you've gained a little bit of perspective, but it's very inland, very inland. And, just to drive home the point of how close it really is to the coastal waters. We can go all the way at Lake Erie. There is Lake Ontario. And then we have the Atlantic Ocean. And just to think, if we were to only think of this oceanic body of water as the most important source of information that makes us want to look at maritime anything, is only if we're in the coastal side. Not true. Right? So very inland places, look for your local waterway because people had to congregate and make a way to that space in some shape or fashion. Have a blessed rest of your evening. Thank you for spending some time with us today.